Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm really excited to bring you some really interesting decks. These are being played in Japan with the new set Mask of Change, which will be the second half and the bigger portion, or I think it's the bigger portion of Twilight Masquerade, around half of it, and it will be introducing Ogerpon EX, as well as some other cards I recently covered, such as Draco EX. I've covered a lot of them when they are initially revealed, and now I'm taking a look at some lists. And this card, or these cards, are pretty crazy. But let's take a look at what I believe is the only, well, Ogerpon EX deck. It's like the true box, and so we see a bunch of Ogerpon EXs right off the bat here. And I guess I'll talk about the item card first. It's called Ogre's Mask. I believe this has been revealed in English, but I'm not 100% sure. I know, I think all these Ogre Ponds and the Ogre's Mask have been revealed. Anyways, we know the translations of it, at the very least, the like text and what they do. So choose one of your Pokemon EX and the discard that has an Ogerpon in its name and switch it with one of your Pokemon EX that has Ogerpon in its name in play, and then the attached cards, damage counter, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects made on the new Pokemon. Not entirely sure why turns in play would matter because they don't evolve, but who knows, maybe they'll evolve in the future. Outside of that, I mean, it's useful. And let's take a look at the main, I guess the main Ogerpon. But yeah, it's kind of weird. So this is the grass one, Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, and they all have different names. They're all something Ogerpon EX, and there is a single prize Ogerpon that's not that good, and also it's not an EX, so that means you can't use the Ogre's Mask card with it, unfortunately. But the ability on this Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, its ability Teal Dance, and they are all basics as well. Myriad Leaf, or sorry, Teal Dance. Once during your turn, you can attach a basic grass energy from your hand to this Pokemon, then draw one card. That is pretty good. May remind you of Gardenia's Vigor, I guess, but on a Pokemon. It's not really the same, but yeah, this is pretty nice. Extolling energy to yourself is really good, but its attack is 3 grass, so you need to use the ability twice, so 2 turns. And you can't use the Ogre's Mask to switch between the two, as far as I'm aware, or between two grass ones, and then use the ability again, despite it being like a different Pokemon because it's keeping the same effect, so it will already have um, it has the effect that it's like use the ability, but across 2 turns or with Gardenia's Vigor or whatever, you can power this up. There are ways to. It's not super hard, but it's not free either. But Myriad Leaf Shower 30 and 30 more damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. This is pretty solid. Same attack as we've seen on Espathra EX, which is actually, in my opinion, super good, super underrated, but really good. With Espathra EX, that's of course has an ability as a stage one is 1 energy. There are a lot of differences as well. Only thing that's not different is the type and the damage, but that's fine. Then we have the other ones, and I guess I'll start with the fire one. Wrathful Hearth for fire, colorless, and they're all Terra EX, so they're immune to bench damage, but does 20 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. That's all right. And then for 3 fire, so Ogre's Mask combo isn't really helping you. And I think yeah, this list you can attack with it, but in, well, one of the lists you can. But this is the worst one for the synergy. Dynamic Blaze 140, but if your opponent's active is an evolution, it does 280, which is a really great damage number to hit on like Giratina V-Star, Arceus V-Star, and I mean it's certainly not bad against other things either. Then we have the Wellspring Mask of Grapani EX with Sob for 1 colorless. Your opponent's active can't retreat next turn, or the defending Pokemon, I should say, which is the opponent's active. It's the one you're hitting into. And so this is interesting. We'll talk about it a bit more later. It's good though. Sob isn't insane, but the Pokemon's good. Torrential Pump here for watercolorless colors 100. You may shuffle 3 energy from this Pokemon back into your deck. And if you do, this attack also does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now, I believe, although I'm not 100% sure, that this will do. I don't know. I'm not sure the order in which the damage is calculated. If you have double turbo energy on, if someone down below in the comments knows, I actually looked this up before the video and I couldn't find a clear answer. But does this do? How does it work with double turbo energy? What I was thinking is, so you remove the energy first, so you do the damage and then you remove the energy. and then you do the active damage, then you move the energy, you do bench damage? Or is that just wrong? Or is it that you do 100 to the active and then 120 to the bench, even despite double turbo? Or is it that you do 80 to the active and 100 to the bench? I'm not 100% sure um, about that one. But actually, I do think it does. I think you discard first and then do the bench damage. Um, Although I'm not sure about the active damage. Anyways, that would be helpful. As I said, I'm not 100% sure, but it's still really great. Big bench damage. So, and all the lists do run double turbo, or not all of them. Some do run double turbo, but they all run ways to power it up without double turbo, so it doesn't really matter here. But and then we see the fighting one. This is actually the one that I thought was a fake card when it was revealed because it was like a really like surprise. Actually, it looks weird in English. The text is kind of squished. It's squished in Japanese here too, I believe. But Cornerstone stance prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. This is really good. Lots of Pokemon in the game have an ability. Not all of them do, and there are ways to turn them off. Like yeah, I don't know. There aren't really many ways to turn them off. There's no path to the peak. There's a card like it, but there isn't path. I would see Demolish, Fighting Colorless, 140, and it doesn't hit weakness, which isn't good. It doesn't hit resistance, which is good, but I don't know how impactful that is in actual play. And then it ignores effects on the defending Pokemon. So it can hit through Mimikyu, but if your opponent's using Mew EX, it can hit through itself. So it's actually probably bad that it hits through effects of attacks. Or effects on the Pokemon. I'm not sure though. It's all right. So the idea is you go ahead, you get a bunch of grass energy on the grass one, and then you switch it out with the other one, and then you attach luminous energy or the new energy, legacy energy. It's a special energy that provides one energy of every type, which is really good. And when your opponent takes a knockout, they take one less prize, which is really nice. But you can only use they only take one less prize once. It's to stop looping. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's like to stop looping. So that's fine. But this is really good. It's just like, helps the prize trade, hopefully, and it's a good card. We also see Radiant Charizard, which can be paid for one Luminous or Legacy Energy. We see Penny to like kind of do stuff with that. The Ogre's Mask card, and you just get lots of energy in play. And the main Ogerpon outside of the grass one, which is like the kind of focus of the deck, is the fighting one, the Cornerstone Mask one. Then we see another list. This one is really crazy. This list is probably one that it looks really cool. But we see Blissey EX. It has an attack. It has high HP. There's so much stuff to go into with this card. But it has high HP. Its ability lets you move energy around once during your turn. For each Blissey, you can attack. You do solid damage. Draw. It has the Chansey that lets you take extra prize cards on a coin flip. I mean, and then you have the Grass Ogerpon. You have the new Monkey Dory, which like moves damage counters around. And then you have Radiant Serena to heal. You have Mew EX and Tropius. Like, there's so much stuff going on here. Um, yeah, we got Mist Energy. Blissey moves around. Yeah, only basic energy, so you can't move around Mist Energy. You have Hero's Cape, so you can get a really tanky Blissey. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Sharon's Care. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about this deck, to be honest. It's really cool, though, and I really wanted to show it off because it's just really cool. And yeah, this deck looks... So next up, we got ourselves a Regidraco deck. This Regidraco deck looks super sick because you can... it runs the Ogerpon, which accelerates to itself, and then it runs a weird variety of attackers. You do Mela as well to accelerate energies to your just like you have a Draco and you have Dragonite and you have Energy Switch. Then you have Raging Bolt EX and you can use that as an attacker. Then we have the new Sinistra, which goes ahead and choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that for each basic grass energy you discard, then you shuffle them all back into your deck. And that moves us right along to our next deck, which also does the same exact thing. Going ahead and it's like mostly Ogerpons. It runs the new Sinistra, which discards grass energy from play. There's some weird stuff. We have Weird UV, we have Bug Catching Set, Gardenia's Vigor, Penny. Like, I don't know. There's some weird stuff. I'm sure I'll talk about these later. They're really interesting, but we need to move on to the other Ogerpons. You actually have a Fire, the Hearth Flame. There we go. Mask, Ogerpon, EX. It's just played in the Charizard deck. This is literally the only time it's been played, essentially. Outside of, I think, an Ogerpon box deck. Yeah. It's been played twice in Charizard. I mean, Charizard is just a good deck, and it's a solid fire attacker. As I said, really great against like Giratina V-Star, which is it's really powerful, pretty bad for Charizard as well, right? So yeah, it's a nice little addition. Then we got Cornerstone Master Pontiacs. This has been played in a lot of different decks, including Lost Zone. I don't think I'm going to be showing a Lost Zone deck today. I'll pull up one, I guess. You can see it in Lost Zone with Raging Bolt EX. You can see it with just like Sableye. You can see it with Okie Dokie as well, which is really fun. And Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX and Roaring Moon EX. It's really interesting. But the only deck that's won with the card is actually it's been Snorlax. It's really great in Snorlax control as a stall option, as a really great stall option next to Mimikyu. Both Mimikyu blocking EX and Vs, and then Cornerstone Ogerpon EX blocking Pokemon with abilities, which are a lot of Pokemon. We also see the new Performance Flute. What? Okay, that's a weird name, but I guess it's not that weird. But it was just I thought it was like something whistle. I think it's been translated different ways. It's like a control card, and yeah, I mean it's just a great wall, right? And then we got ourselves Kidon Tingoo, a blast from the past that was good, and then it hasn't been good for a while. We even see Kieran. If you go first, you can use this on your first turn. Discard to your hand, draw 5. Um, we see Iron Valiant to ping. And then we have Cornerstone Ogerpon. No, Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX to just wall and also like attack. And you can actually attack. It's a fighting deck, right? So it's a nice little fit there. And then we have Lugia, and Lugia is I mean Lugia's a pretty good deck, right? But it's kind of evolved because Legacy Energy provides essentially any as a rainbow style energy, providing every type, and it actually works with other special energies. So you can use it with Lugia, and then you can use it with you can use it with Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pontiacs, but you only have one, so it's all right. And you can just stick it as a wall to hide behind as well. You have Iron Hands EX, and we do even see a Lightning Energy. And then we see Wellspring Mask Ogerpon EX. Accelerate 3 energy to this, shuffle the 3 energy back into your deck, and then you do 120 to one of your opponent's benched. And so you shuffle the Legacy Energy back into your deck, meaning you can then reuse it on another. You can reuse it on Wellspring Mask Ogerpon EX, or Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX, or Iron Hands EX, or even Lumineon V. You can attack with Legacy Energy. So you got these really interesting options. Actually, it gets Lumineon V out of play as well. I mean, Lugia's really cool. I don't know. I don't love playing it because of the inconsistencies with art caps, but with this increased option with Legacy Energy and the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pontiacs, it's really crazy. Wellspring Mask Ogre Pontiacs has seen the most play, I think, out of all of them, mostly with Lugia. Ken tossed into Greninja EX, which I think the double turbo does get discarded first, which I was wrong about. And then yeah, but I think it's like really yeah. So someone can, if you could comment that down below. I'm not 100% sure they're ruling about like discarding energy with double turbo, but I was actually reading the live forums to help some people out, and someone mentioned that, and I said I wasn't sure, but anyway, yeah, it's mostly seen play with Lugia, but it's also seen play with Chimpao, and of course Chimpao, just doing Chimpao Max Caliber things. We've seen Arceus popping in again, but we do just see Water Energy, obviously, with Max Caliber, stick a bunch of them on to the Ogerpon. They actually go back into the deck, which is not a terrible place to have them, with the Chimpao being able to easily search them out. And yeah, I mean, it's just really, really solid as an attacker. But the Pokemon I haven't seen play in the same deck, which is really interesting outside of that one list. And I do think they will be a deck together, but also decks separately, which is really cool. But anyways, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts down below on these cards. And if you enjoy, consider liking. That helps out my channel a lot and helps like YouTube recommend my stuff. And then subscribe if you want to see more. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.